Kniters and friends, welcome to the Seedling Stitch Knitting Podcast. I'm your host Athena. I am a Chinese knitter living in Vancouver, Canada, and this is my little space on the internet where I chat all about knitting, my life, crafting, my journey, so everything in that realm. So this is kind of like a random chat type of video, but I also try to share a bit about my culture, about knitting techniques, useful tips and tricks. And also today, since I'm recording this video in my new home, there will be a lot chat about how I decorated my new home to make myself comfortable living in this new space. And also, I've been really busy in the past few months, and I'm really excited to share with you today. I went back to China in June and visited my family, had a lot of fun, bought a lot of yarn, books, and on my way back from China to Canada, I traveled in Korea for a few days, so I visited their yarn store. So there were a lot of fun, so I'm gonna share all about these with you today. Welcome if you're new. I hope you find my video interesting, and welcome back. I really miss you. I really miss doing this, and I hope I still know how to do this. Yeah, it's been a while. I'm getting a bit rusty in like making a video and just chat to a camera, but yeah, hope everything will be okay. So without further ado, please grab your knitting or your crochet or whatever project you are doing, and I'll get started with today's video. So usually I would start with what I'm wearing today, but since I'm living in this new space, I'm really excited to chat about how I decorated my knitting corner. So let's start with here. Right in that corner, that's my library, and on the second row of those boxes, so that's a calyx from IKEA. So it's not any fancy furniture, but it does what it does, and I put all my knitting and crochet crafting related books in those two boxes, and I also have other fluid dynamics, since I studied that for my PhD, and other random books that I enjoy there, and also my husband's books. And moving down here, that's my stash and knitted object or crochet project display. So all my knitted sweater that I still wear are on those top layer of boxes. A lot of other sweaters I've knitted I gifted to my friends and family. And on the lower, those the three woven type of boxes are my yarn stash, and that blue box is actually a cat box from IKEA, but instead I put my sewing, the fabric stash and the sewing tools over there. And up above, that's my sewing machine, and those are the handy tool books that I put over there, because right beside it, that's my knitting seat, my knitting armchair. So there are some useful tool, like handy tool books related with like knitting techniques. So I put it there for a quick reference. What I'm most proud of is my knitting pegboard. So it serves as a display as well as the key tools. So you can see my sock blockers over there and my knitted animal dolls from the book Knitting Animal Friends. You can see how I made them in my first video ever. And there's also the crocheted polar bear up there. He is lying down because I feel a bit weird if he's standing up because I could only see his jaw from that angle. So I made him a little pillow and let him lie down. And in the future, if I want to make a bigger crochet toy. I want to make a crochet dinosaur. So the dinosaur will be there, and my polar bear, he can get up and stay at somewhere else. Also, I put some my swatches over there. Like those are some key swatches that I like my current swatches for the projects that I'm currently working on, and some random other tools that I find pretty to look at. So those I put over there. And finally, that's my knitting seat. That's where I actually do my knitting. It's a very comfortable armchair with the leg stool. And on my left hand side, that's the little table where I put all the tools that I usually use. And on the wall, you can see I put some hooks where I put the needles that I'm currently using. And for my other knitting needles, I organize them by the size and their length and organize them neatly in a box. So that's pretty much my knitting setup, except that I pulled some baskets from my chair here so that I can show you. There are some, project baskets that I usually put over there, but since I'm showing off today, here it's all over there. And I also have one interesting tool, handy tool for knitters that I'd like to show you that I made for by myself. So this it's like a knitting bolster. I use a beach towel and I wrap, and right inside there is like an airplane pillow. Like it's just a long round pillow, and I used it as the core, and I wrap it around to form like a long cylinder type of pillow. And when I knit over there at the armchair, I wrap this around like my waist like this, so that I can rest my elbow over here and rest my project over here, and just so that I can keep my elbow in a 90-degree angle and have it supported when I knit. Recently I've been paying a lot of attention to the ergonomic side of things. I work an office desk type of job, and before I just used a regular chair, and recently I've spent some budget and bought this very ergonomic chair with arm support, and I find arm support is so important for me to use the mouse, or my neck really hurt and it's like linking something to my jaw and then to my ear. Anyway, so we should have our arm, especially the elbow, supported. I've talked this with my I've talked about this with my physiotherapist, and she's really supportive of my bolster. So I think I'd like to share this with other knitters. I know, like a lot of us, when we really got involved into knitting, and sometimes we are really stressed about our project. It's supposed to be a relaxing thing, but like sometimes we just really want to finish the project, and then we just keep knitting. And especially when the project is difficult, all our muscles are tensed, and we're like that, and we might do that for 2 hours. We really just want to fix this problem, or we really just want to finish the project, and it's so bad for your body, and it's also bad for your mind. Just to have this tool to, you know, remind myself to stay relaxed. Oh, I also find it quite comfortable to even just to put it here when I'm doing this kind of podcast. So maybe I'll just keep doing this show like this, making this video like this. Oh, I'm feeling so relaxed. I don't even want to talk. Okay, okay. So let's keep going. This part. So that's about the home decor, and maybe let's go back to what I'm wearing today. Okay, I still need to throw it away. I am wearing a new summer sweater I just made. Please focus. Are you focusing? Okay, he is focusing. So this is a new all-over lace sweater that I designed and knitted by myself. As for the pattern, I really don't know. I really don't know if I have the energy to write this up, but I did keep all the notes. And if anything, it's not a super, I wouldn't say it's not difficult, but the lace pattern itself is only, I think, for an 8-stitch by 4 rows repeat, or 6-stitch by 4 rows repeat. I can't remember by now. So it's a really small pattern repeat, but it's done all over. As for the construction, it's knitted top down with a raglan and also some back shaping, and I added some underarm stitches here. Construction wise, I almost just followed my own the vine tee pattern, which is a graded full written pattern, and I just basically replaced the stitch pattern with this one, and there's some little tweaks like increase and decrease a few stitches here and there to fit what I'm trying to achieve for this one and the gauge and that. I promise I will write this pattern at some point. Probably will not be size inclusive, but I think I'll also put the pattern repeat, like the chart, in my Ravelry project note. I promise I'll do that. So if you are an intermediate or advanced knitter, if you like are confident just taking a chart and adapt it to something for yourself, feel free to look at my chart. And also, like, you can look at Rebecca Krauss Tolsta T. She has like a raglan t-shirt pattern for you to, it's like a canvas and you can apply any chart to it. It's just like a plain raglan t-shirt pattern. I didn't buy that pattern myself, but like I get a feeling what it does, and it's fully size inclusive, very customizable. So you can refer to her pattern and use my chart, and then you can have you can knit something like this. And I think the difference for this one is like I have a few like 5 ribbed stitches over here, and the rib stitch, the single rib stitches, is continued across like the yoke and down here, and also the same for the back. So this idea was similar to my vine tee. I did that like for the vine lace pattern for my vine tee, but you don't have to do that. I think in knitting, I feel like right now we follow the patterns a lot. There's too few creativity. I can respect that some people just like to follow a pattern rigidly and make something that they're proud of. I fully respect that, but just for me personally, I think knitting is a way for myself to express my creativity, and I really appreciate the fact that I can change a lot of things in knitting and make it into something that suit my own. I always ramble about like philosophy and my thoughts. Okay, let's go back to the knitting, the technical stuff. So it's knitted with 4mm needle with the sports weight yarn. The yarn I use is a Chinese yarn. It's called Jian from the brand Shike, and it's 100% silk, so it has really good temperature regulation. It's 50 gram to 155 meters. I don't know what equivalent yarn in the the English knitting world there is. I really enjoy this yarn. I would say it's thicker than the Knitting for Olive pure silk, and it also feels different. It feels smoother than the pure silk. I think like how they made the yarn is different, and I don't think you can buy this yarn from the English knitting world, sorry, but I also know like a lot of my audience have Chinese connections, so I don't know if you have a Chinese friend who can buy this yarn for you. Great. Or you can use any sports to light DK weight yarn to knit this kind of sweater, or take the lace chart and do whatever you want, make a shawl. And I have a beautiful name for this sweater. I'm gonna call this Lilac Haze sweater. Lilac is the flower of my hometown city, Harbin in China. So in spring season, lilac is all over Harbin. It smells so fragrant, and it's probably one of my favorite flowers. So I want to make something, and this lace pattern is in my opinion like a mimic of lilac, and also the color is called lilac. And I also like that it's an all over lace. It's like I'm making this into like a full sleeve length sweater, but just because of how lacy it is, like breeze can flow through, especially if I'm riding a bike. It's actually quite cool, but also if it's a bit cool, I can feel a bit warmer. So I think it's a strange garment, but I like it regardless, and I can wear it just like on top of a bra. The bra I'm wearing is my Vine bralette. It's using the same lace pattern as my Vine tee and my Vine top, but just because of how difficult to grade it, I haven't dared to write the pattern out. Maybe I'll write it someday, just like a free pattern with one size. We'll see. I have a lot of ideas and like self-designed stuff that I'm mostly just knitting for myself, but if I have the energy and time, I'd love to share it. So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. And I used 5 balls of this yarn, so it didn't take a lot of yarn. So that's this sweater, and I'll keep going to talk about my other finished objects. My other finished objects are mostly home decor items, because I moved into this new house and I feel like I need a basket here, I need a basket there, I need a coaster here, and why do I need to buy them? Because I can just make them. So here it is. Okay, the first project that I'm very proud of is this basket. So it's all crocheted. It's like a round bottom basket. So for these baskets that I made, I followed this book. This is more like a stitch pattern, a crochet stitch pattern book. It's a Japanese book by Ronique, and it features like how I think I've shown this book a lot from my past videos. It's basically showing you 100 different stitch patterns with 5 different bottoms and 6 different handles together, you can make 3,000 combinations of baskets or bags. And the baskets that I'm making is mostly just this one with one of the stitch pattern. The yarn I used is a type of raffia yarn. Raffia is a type of, it's like a plant or like grass type of fiber, and it feels very interesting. The brand is Huicai. It's a Chinese brand, but I believe you can buy similar raffia yarn from like Wool and the Gown. I know they have like a yarn called rubber raffia. So I feel like this type of yarn is really suitable to make baskets, bags, or like those straw hats kind of thing. And just this yarn I use is it's not as smooth as cotton yarn, but it's not so bad. Like I've worked with paper yarn and yeah, it's very hard to work with, but this one I feel it has some kind of elasticity, so it feels very interesting, and it's not too stretchy, but it also can hold its shape, and so it's just a perfect yarn to make a basket. And that's my first basket. I'm using it as a knitting project bag, and I'll talk about this project in a moment. And following that, I still have a lot of leftover of the raffia yarn. So I bought this raffia yarn like 2 years ago, and I wanted to make this bag, and I didn't have enough. So this time when I went back to China, I bought 3 more balls, and then I ended up having more. So since I have more, I made so this is another little basket, also using the patterns from the book. So this I made a rectangle bottom, and this is a shallow basket. I followed this pattern. It's quite difficult to work with, but I managed. And then it's quite a difficult pattern, quite a difficult stitch pattern with a lot of new crochet stitches that I didn't learn before, but it looks really nice. It has that type of feel of woven texture. And I made a little handle. So this is for a bread basket. I usually put it in the kitchen when we usually unfrozen a few slices of bread for breakfast, and this is where we put the slices of bread. My husband and I, we really love to like put things in a square instead of just put them in a big surface. Like with a little square, it makes us happier. So I made this one, and I made another little basket with another stitch pattern from that book, and this is more lacy, and I want it to be lacy because this basket is for the camera. Camera is there, so I cannot show you. So it's the exact size of the camera, and I usually put it over there on my calyx, and just so that I can grab my camera at any time and take photos whenever I like it. I ran out of yarn when I made this project, so that's why you see there's a different color here. And that's another raffia yarn that I bought on my trip to Korea, which I'll show you in a moment. I think it actually looks pretty nice, this color combination. And then I also made some coasters. So I just like found some random coaster, you know, granny square charts on social media. There's a lot of like free ones shared, at least in Chinese social media. It's like that. It's sometimes hard to trace the designer. So yeah. So that's 2 of the coasters made with raffia yarn, and those are another 2 coasters made with cotton yarn. I think they look pretty, and they make me happy, and they don't need too much. It's like 30 minutes and you can make one. And I have another crochet wall decoration projects. So actually I usually put this one over there back in the wall because there is an ugly wall outlet. I think the previous owner probably made that to put the TV or the cord, but like in my home we don't watch TV, we don't even own a TV, and we're not going to own a TV, and there's just that ugly outlet. So I just like find some crochet chart and make a little wall decoration. I think it looks very pretty, and the pattern from this is coming from this book. It's a Japanese knitting and crochet magazine. This is the Chinese translation. So the Chinese issue 42 or the Japanese issue was from 2022 summer issue. So this issue, that features a lot of like crochet home decor items like table runners, tablecloth, and in this pattern, this is a curtain, crochet curtain, with this nice lace pattern, and I just make one of this pattern repeat, and those like dangling balls. And the original pattern used the lace yarn, but I just use my raffia yarn. I think it looks pretty nice on my on my wall. And to block these, like these type of raffia yarn made things, they require blocking, and to block it I use those like misting what do you call it? I like squeeze some mist into, spray some mist onto it, just like water onto it, and then I like put a flat sheet over it and step on it. Sometimes I just step on it with my feet, or just shape it and like stretch it into the shape that I want. And yeah, there it is. And yeah, I'll put that back in a moment because I don't want to see that ugly wall outlet. Alright, so that's my crochet home decor items. I also have another knitted finished object to show you. That's my that's my Stardew Valley socks. So it's a pair of colorwork knitted socks. I've showed one sock in my last video, and I've finished the other sock a while ago actually. And I wore it back in China, and it looks really cute. The pattern is the Stardew Valley spring socks designed by Oakwood Knits. The original pattern is a top down, so like cuff down pattern. I changed it to toe up, and it's using a short row heel. I changed it to German short row because I'm more familiar with that, but other than that I didn't make much change. There are some tips that I'd like to give you if you are knitting this type of colorwork socks. You need to like leave the flows really generously for here. And maybe not like below your ankle, you can still knit it quite tightly, but from here you really need to leave very generous flows. I think one of the sock was knitted, yeah, I can see that this one was knitted first, and and you can see there's not a lot of stretch in the fabric, and it's making it hard to slip the sock onto your foot. And then in this one I changed my gauge, or like I loosen it up, and then it's a bit easier to wear it. As for here, I think you don't have to make it too loose. It depends on how, like, on the circumference of your foot. Like, I don't have a large circumference on my foot, so I'd rather knit this part a bit tighter, but still, like for all color work, you need to leave you can't tuck the flows too tight, or it will be a disaster and like the fabric will pucker. So yeah, it's hard to find the right feeling when you're doing these color work socks. So the yarn I used is a Chinese Shetland yarn from Soeul姐家. So this is a Shetland and nylon blend, so it's perfect for making socks, and they come in these 25-gram balls, and they have a lot of colors. I'm only angry that I'm only disappointed that they don't have a lot of purple colorways, but like I can always buy purple sock yarn from other sources, not a huge problem. This series of socks is from a video game, Stardew Valley. It's like a farming game, but like it's also like a socializing game where you can meet the characters inside the game, or even like get married and have kids. So it's quite funny, and it's all pixelized. So like when you make them into knitted colorworks, it's really fun. So the designer, she has 4 seasons of socks. I'm going to knit the summer season as well. This time when I went back to China, I also bought all the colors of yarns that I needed for the other 3 seasons, and my goal is to knit the summer sock in summer and the autumn sock in autumn, but I think summer is almost gone, so I need to hurry to cast on my summer Stardew Valley socks. So that's all my finished objects. Well, let's talk about my whip. So this is my current whip, and it's like this. Guess what project it is? So it looks a little bit like all crumpled now, but it's actually shorts. The pattern is shorts number 1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and it's a pair of shorts in this wide rib pattern. It looks very relaxed. The workflow is like bottom up, so you knit 2 tubes, the 2 leg tubes, and you join them in the round. And for now, my crotch is still open. I'll need to sew them up after like I knit a bit further. So I knit in the round from now on and do some decreases, and then make the waistband by double folding it and put an elastic in. So I think the workflow is somewhat straightforward. So this pattern, it's a set. The designer, she also has like I think camisole number 6 probably. So it's like camisole and shorts, all in this wide rib pattern. I'm making the second size S. I think it's good for me. So for now, it's like because of the wide rib, it looks very small, but like after the blocking, it will get bigger. And the motivation for me to make this is that I want to have a loungewear, knitted loungewear, as I work from home mostly, and usually I just wear like a random linen shorts and cotton t-shirts, and like whatever that's comfortable. Like I only get a bit fancy when I'm on camera or in a meeting, but like I want to wear what I make, so I think it would be nice if I can knit some kind of loungewear, and then I think this shorts and camisole set is quite perfect. It has that relaxed feeling, but also it has like enough coverage that's also somewhat proper for work if I wear a shirt like some type of shirts. So that's why I decided to make it. The yarn is a bit more interesting, so it's again some Chinese yarn that I got on my trip back to China. So the brand is Soeul姐家. So I sort of have a collaboration with them for now. So they're going to send me this yarn for free. In exchange, I'll use them and give my honest opinion. So they don't have a lot of strings attached, so I enjoy working with them. And so it's 2 strands of yarn together. The original pattern, she's doing the Knitting for Olive pure silk stranded with their merino, so basically a summer yarn stranded with the wool yarn in a DK weight on 4mm needle. And I take the idea, and in their Soeul姐家 brand, I got this 莫兰迪和风, which is a half cotton, half linen yarn, so like summer yarn with a good drape. And then this is their this is their 初颜, and that's lamb's wool yarn in light fingering weight. This is like heavy fingering, so together they make a perfect DK weight. And the fabric is also like, it has the same structure as the original design, and it can give me the same gauge. And also it's like 2 different shades of green. Like when I knit them together, the color, it has that very slight heather effect. And that's what I really enjoy in making yarn and fabric. I really just hit like a solid color oftentimes. So that gives me some depth in the color. And also it's green, I like it. I think recently I've made too many purple clothes, like this one and the sweater before that, the camisole before that, and the sweater before that are all in the purple color family, but like my true heart still lies within green. So here I'm coming back home. And also I think this green color, it's almost the same as my skin tone. It's like, this is my nude color, so it will very much give out that loungewear energy, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So that's a plus. Yeah, so I believe that's actually all my whips and all my knitting projects. And yeah, I don't have a lot. You know, I've been busy, and like I've been getting crazy with all these designing my home decor kind of stuff. So yeah, but I have a lot about my traveling and my new acquisition to share in this episode, so we'll keep talking. So let me talk about first my trip back to China. It's been pretty nice. Summer in Harbin is actually hotter than Vancouver. Sometimes it can get to 30 degrees Celsius easily, like with the sun, because Harbin is an inner land, so it's not like Vancouver where it's close to the ocean, so it's like better temperature regulation. In Harbin, summer in the day it's really hot, and in the night it's colder, it's cooler. I brought a lot of my knitwear, my knitted summer wear in China, and was able to wear them all the time. I picked up ping pong on my or table tennis. What word do you use for this sport? Table tennis. So I was able to pick up table tennis a lot. Like, as you know, table tennis is Chinese people's sport. I took table tennis classes in high school as well as in my undergrad. I'm not skilled in table tennis, so like I won't win a match like if you are properly trained in the sports, but like I can properly enjoy the sports. And there were a lot of like outdoor table tennis table where you can play just in random parks and gardens, parks. And my family-in-law, my parents-in-law, they took me into the table tennis, and we started playing that. And I was quickly able to get in the rhythm. Although I think I hadn't touched a table tennis bat for like at least over 5 years. So I still was able to get the ball, so yeah, not bad. And then my aunt, she is a semi-professional table tennis player. She's like very famous in the team of her work. So she took me to a like more professional place where there were some like seasoned player who was able to taught me some skills. So now it got me interested. Like now I'm back here in Vancouver. I'm seeking if there's any opportunity where I can practice more. It's pretty fun. Back to knitting. I get to wear my knitwear a lot, and I want to share something with you. So this is my kutar top. I knitted it last summer, and it's like lace in the front, and it's like you cannot wear it just with itself, and I wasn't happy about that. And if I had to wear a thick bra and then the shoulder strap will show up, it's not pretty. So like one of you kindly suggested that I can line it. So I want to show you how I lined it. I just find a piece of lining fabric, like basically this trapezoidal shape, and I fold the fabric inside and I hand sew it. Like you don't have to use the sewing machine. Actually, it's so hard to use a sewing machine to sew this, and it's like not too much. So just hand sew this with the backward stitch, I think that's what it's called. So just like align this line this piece of fabric to the inside of the I-cord edge, but be careful that you need to put enough width of the fabric, because like your knitted fabric is very stretchy, but your lining fabric is not. So you have to leave enough width when you're cutting your fabric. And like when I'm actually wearing this, you can see the lining fabric is it's a little bit puckered, but it won't show when you're wearing it. In my first trial, I didn't leave enough fabric, and it just stretched my knitted fabric in, and it's like showing part of my chest, and it's not, you know, it's not safe. It doesn't feel safe. Yeah, and here, like here, you don't even need to sew this to the fabric. So I just like fold this inward and fix the edge, and then yeah. And now it's very comfortable to wear this just as itself, without a bra. At least it works for me, and it won't show anything unless you like that. So yeah, just a little bit of the tip. Maybe it's useful for you, like if you are making some kind of lace summer wear and you don't like to show anything, you can always line it with some kind of thin lining fabric. And I also got a lot of yarn. So that's not all the yarn I got from China, but like these are some representations. So I got a lot of the Shetland nylon blend yarn from Soeul Jiejia, a lot of different colors. And if you look at these colors, will you be able to guess what project I want to make? So apart from the Stardew Socks series, I'm also going to make a Farewell Vest project inspired by the TV show All Creatures Great and Small. It's one of my favorite shows, and there were a lot of knitted garments, and one of the character, Tristan Farnan, he has several Farewell vests, and I'm going to make one of them. I'll put the picture here. I've already drew the chart, the Farewell chart, and designed the structure. Like all I need to do is to knit it, and probably after I finish my loungewear sets, I'll probably cast on that. And there's a lot of colors. And I also got some knitting books. So I got 2 books. So this time I got in touch with the editors of this publishing house, 河 南科技出版社. So this this publishing house, they publish a lot of knitting and crochet books in China, and they're sending these books to me for free, and I'm so happy, and I think I'll probably buy these books regardless. But no, yeah, I'm really happy, and it's also very kind that the editor encouraged me to publish my own book. So I'm probably going to save some of my patterns, like probably this one and the vine bralette and some new design ideas, and I'm going to save them into a collection. I have ideas already, so maybe I'll be able to publish my own knitting book, at least from in China first, and if I get famous enough, maybe some English knitting company will find me. So we'll see. You know, my childhood dream is to become a writer. So my dream may come true. So this is the Kato Dama magazine. So that's the Japanese magazine. Their winter 2023 issue, featuring a lot of the patterns. Like their winter issues are usually very interesting, and in this season they are doing a lot of round yoke sweaters, or just like random sweater, random pullover sweater. I kind of like this one. I think this color work pattern is very pretty, like very Nordic. I think this issue is like a Nordic themed. There are some lace ones, some color work ones, some texture ones. I think I like this one. It's like a very interesting round yoke, very mesmerizing. And what else? So there's a lot of them, some wrap. I was intrigued by this one. It's like a very fluffy yarn with big holes. I've never knitted with big holes, and this one, although it's very simple, but the shape is very interesting, and I think it looks pretty nice as a like pull-on layer. And so there's a huge number of patterns, crochet and knitting in this book. So I don't know, I'll probably just like flip through. oh, that's the pattern. So yeah. And this you might know is it's translated from the Vogue Knitting publisher, and it's 40 bold and delicate knits, so it's all lace designs. And it's probably an older book. There are shawls and sweaters, cardigans, and I think I saw some interesting ones. There are like full-on, I think these are all full-on lace, and there's one skirt and one dress that I was really impressed, but I might not make it. So that's the dress. I think it's in a very, very interesting, like here's another picture. It's a hexagon shape. Yeah, it's a hexagon shape dress, so it looks very pretty. And there's another dress. But I don't know, I don't like, it's not very practical to wear this, so I need to think about this. But you know, you can always put a lining for these lace garments. So yeah, it's good as knitting inspirations, but like for now I feel like I don't want to stick to any pattern. I just mostly want to create my own stuff. And I forgot, I also have another big acquisition from my grandma. As some of the older viewers may know, my grandma is a big supporter of my knitting, and she used to be a knitter herself. And this time when I visited her, she found a lot of her own knitwear, and she also gave me a lot of her dresses and skirts when she was younger. And these two pieces are knitted by her when probably like I was small. it's so stunning. Although it's like a bit stretched, so this is a sweater, and it's like a wrap kind of sweater. Is featuring a full-on lace. It's very vintage looking, and using some of her like fingering weight wool yarn. Unfortunately, it's not very well maintained. Like just probably the yarn is not like really good, so now it is stretching to a huge size. But you know, the shape is so modern. Like recently, I know there's a lot of like this type of wrap sweater design like this, and I really like the shape. So I don't look very well wearing it just because how loose it gets. I had been thinking of like modifying it, like re-knit the waistband to have a tighter decrease, but the yarn it's already a little bit felted, so it will be quite hard to unravel it, and it's probably not even possible to reuse this yarn once I unravel it. So I'll probably just leave it as an heirloom piece, but also I'm probably going to use this as an inspiration, and I probably make an homage version of this and just make a smaller size but in the same lace pattern. It's really delicate, and I know my grandma has put a lot of time in it, but like according to her own words, she didn't wear it too much, like because like for her it's the knitting, it's the process that matters the most, it's the most fun, and like after she knitted something, then she got tired of it, and then she start another project and then forgot about this, and then this beautiful piece was just in the closet for a long while, without too much wear. So, I know some knitters are like that. If you're a knitter like my grandma, please comment and let me know. For me personally, I always try my best to wear all my knits, and yeah, so she's definitely a process knitter, we know. And this is a shawl, so this I can still wear, and it's a triangle shawl with some lace pattern. And I want to tell you a funny story. So this is my paternal grandma, that's knitted by her, and when I brought this piece back to my mom, and my mom says, oh, she has the same thing from her mom, from my maternal grandma. And then she went to the closet and dig out another shawl, almost the same as this one. I don't know if I took a photo of that. It's like the same shape. The lace pattern, it's similar but not the same. Like this one, it has like 4 lace holes in each square, in each diamond. But my maternal grandma's shawl, there's like 6 holes in each diamond. So it's very interesting. Like it's the popular pattern from their era. It's like their Sophie shawl, it's their Sophie scarf. And like for them, they don't have a written pattern. It's like all by ears, so like one person passes it on to another, so you don't know who is the original designer to this. Like everybody, they just add on something new, they change their gauge, they change their yarn, they change their size, and when you pass it on, it just like changes shape a little bit, but it's still the same thing. So it's amazing that they have like a similar shawl. And yeah, and I think my mom cherishes would cherish my maternal grandma's shawl. So now I only brought this from my paternal grandma. Yeah. It's funny, like in Mandarin, in Chinese, we have the word 奶奶 for paternal grandma, and we have the word 姥姥 or 外婆 for maternal grandma. I feel like in China, just because like how important family relationship is, we have a lot of word for different family members. like in English, cousin is just cousin, but there's like a huge vocabulary for the different cousins you could have. Yeah. So this is from my Nai, and and the other similar one is from my Lao. Okay, so a bit of the story, and then after my visit in China, when I went to Korea with my friend Yuran. She was in episode 13. We did an episode together. She lives in Edmonton, Alberta, and she's from the same hometown. She was my high school classmate. So yeah, our friendship went back in a long time. And we visited our high school during our, we went back to Harbin together in the same time, and we visited our high school teacher. It was very heartwarming to see our high school teachers. My high school has been a very important time for me. My husband is also my high school classmate. Yeah. So then we went to Korea for traveling together. She had an academic conference there. She brought her husband. So it's funny that like I did the trip with her husband and her mom in Korea. It was fun. In Korea, so we went to Seoul. And there is a huge knitting shop or yarn shop called Banu Knitting Story in Seoul. So we visited there the second day after arrival. I will put some footage of me in the store. So it's a very different style. It's a huge space, but the yarn is not. It's very loosely displayed. It's very different from the yarn store here, where it's like space is very expensive and like it's all very crumpled, like it's all very stuffed. But in Korea, it's like a huge store. They have a lot of samples. It's like almost like a fashion store. They display their samples like on the like almost like a fashion store, and you can try it on. There's hats. There's a lot of bags, and their yarn. None of the yarn. Like I know none of the yarn that they are selling there. It's like all new brands for me. Like a lot of them are made in Korea or some other like not North American, not European countries. So it's quite interesting. And also their focus is more on crochet. It's my feeling. It's more on crochet, less in knitting. So they have a lot of crochet friendly yarn like lace yarn, cotton, linen, raffia. They have a full display of raffia yarn. And in this yarn store, they have two stories. The first story is the yarn. The second story is a cafe. And they have those cute button-shaped pastries. Tastes really nice, and a lot of different drinks. It's a cafe and space for people to craft. And there are a lot of young people, and those girls, mostly girls, they come in group, and then they are doing a lot of crochet bags, so probably using the yarn that they just bought in the first floor. And during my time there, I bought two types of yarn. One is this like light yellow green raffia yarn that I've used in my basket here. And another is a lace. It's like a type of cotton yarn. It's like mercerized cotton yarn, so it's like for lace work, for true lace works. And I saw in one of their samples they strand this yarn and this yarn together to make a hat, and that's my initial plans, but I don't know, who knows. So I bought enough to make a hat, but maybe I'll keep making my home decor items. And otherwise, I think my trip in Korea has been not very exciting. We went to see their palaces. I got to wear my camisole number 5 a lot just because of the weather. It's like sometimes very hot, sometimes very cold, so it's nice to have like a finger and weight wool camisole to wear. We went to their palace. There's style it's very different from China, where in China everything is like golden and red and big, whereas there is more delicate, more graceful, more peaceful. It's like a different kind of aesthetic, and it's mostly in like blue, green, white color scheme. So very interesting aesthetics. And we ate a lot. We went to restaurants all day, and I'm a little bit disappointed that there aren't a lot of vegetables. I need my fiber. Like during the last day, it's funny that we went to a Chinese malatang place. Like it's like an individual hot pot thing where you can choose your own vegetable or protein, and we just like chose a bunch of vegetables and make the vegetable bowl, and that's our last meal in Korea. So it's a bit funny. Yeah, I think overall we had a great time, and I was really happy to saw Yuran and met Yuran's mom. I think I became really good friends with Yuran's mom. Like at the last day, she's almost like this is my found daughter. And yeah, so it's been a nice trip, very rewarding. And yeah, so that's all my chat for you today. And hopefully now that I settle down in this new place, I'm also looking to get involved with the local knitting community. I'm applying to teach knitting or crochet classes at the local community center, or at least like make a little knitting club in my neighborhood and like have those knitting social nights, because I'm a bit craving with actual personal connection rather than like making these videos. I also appreciate like knowing you from the internet, but also like I also want to meet knitters in my neighborhood, in my community in person. So we'll see how that unravels, and I'll see you in my next episode, and hopefully soon, not too far in the future. Alright, so if you enjoyed my video, please like, give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe if you haven't, so that you can be notified next time I make a new video. If you like to support me financially, you can donate on my Ko-fi. I have a Ko-fi page. You can also, I also have some patterns where you can buy, or you can like donate to whatever amount, as well as getting one of my designs. On Ravelry, I am Athena Liu. On Instagram, I'm also @SD_Athena. You can find me anywhere as Athena Liu, and all my projects and notes will be on Ravelry as well. And usually on the end of my episode, I will play a bit of piano for you. I have an antique piano from over 100 years ago. I thought I'm going to give it away after the move, but nobody wanted it, so I moved it here. So I still own this antique, beautiful piano, and I'm going to play the title theme of the game Stardew Valley. That's like where the sock pattern is coming from. Alright, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good summer. I hope you have enjoyed your knitting. Thank you. See you next time. Bye. It's a